Hey, what's up everybody? It's Luke here. Today we're going to talk about guitar procrastination and what you can do to overcome it. So, let's get started. Do you find yourself always having something else to do when it's time to practice guitar? You say to yourself that first you need to watch a couple YouTube videos for inspiration, but you end up going on a video streak for a couple hours and most of it's not even guitar related. Or simply when you sit down and practice, you feel that you're not in the mood to play right now, so you'll do it later. And then when later comes, you say that you'll do it even later. And then even later, it's too late, so you say, I'll practice tomorrow. And tomorrow, the whole process repeats, and you end up going for weeks or months without practicing, telling yourself that you'll start soon. But the day when you start practicing never really comes. Well, this is a common problem for a lot of guitar players. Procrastination affects how we learn and practice our instrument the same as it affects other aspects of our lives. But where does this problem come from and what can you do to overcome it? I'm sure you've already seen a couple videos about procrastination in general and you have a basic understanding about it. And I'm no expert on the subject, but it's pretty obvious to me that avoiding practicing and putting it off till later stems from fear and other negative emotions that you associate with this activity. The moment you think about practicing, your mind fights that thought by telling you that it's difficult. It requires you to fully focus on one thing. You have to be fully mentally engaged. It's not something easy and it's not very pleasant. You probably also think to yourself how practicing doesn't get you any results, probably because you're doing it wrong, and you think that the whole process is just pointless. And so, automatically, you take the path of least resistance and you go on YouTube and Instagram and watch other people live your dreams. But those negative emotions that I just talked about are mostly subconscious. You don't actually think about them, they're just stuck somewhere in the back of your head. You know that if you don't practice, you're not going to get any better, so you make up an excuse for it. Something like, I don't have any exercises to practice, I'll go search for something online and I'll practice them tomorrow. That's just one example of an excuse that people make up. I made them up also. But no matter what your excuse is, what excuse you come up with, the result is always the same. You don't actually practice. Alright, so what do you do to stop this vicious cycle and actually start practicing? The first step is that you have to realize what causes this procrastination. And that it's just in your head, it's just emotions, it's just fear. It's just your thoughts telling you that it's going to be unpleasant and difficult and that you shouldn't do it. Once you understand this, your whole perspective will change and you won't be so scared of sitting down with your guitar and having a practice session. The next step is creating a practice schedule. You may already know that I'm a huge fan of practice schedules and planning this stuff out. Now, most people run away and hide under their bed when they hear about practice schedules. Hear me out on this one. A practice schedule is not a noose around your neck, it's not a prison cell that you willfully step into, it's not handcuffs that you put on your own wrists. It doesn't constrict you at all. It's a tool that you use to get the most out of your time and be the most effective. Let's think of it as a hammer, for example. You can use a hammer to nail in a bunch of nails into a plank in a couple minutes and have the job done and over with. Or you could slam them with your forehead, but which one's quicker and which one's more effective?
Shut up! You're not my mother! Good God, are you alright? Fine, why do you ask?
If you have everything written out in a schedule, you're more likely to do it because now you know exactly what you have to practice and you don't waste any time thinking about what exercises you should do, how long you should practice, and so on. And once this becomes a routine for you, you start treating guitar practice like a natural, everyday activity. And over time, it becomes second nature and you don't even think about it. And the last thing, which I'm pretty sure you've already heard of, but it helps so much with procrastination, is setting up a reward circuit. If instead of practicing, you would usually go on YouTube and watch Davey 504 or Andertons, or go scrolling through Instagram and Facebook, then you should turn this into your reward for practicing. Now those were just examples, and your reward could be anything that you would do instead of practicing. So like playing video games or going to a party or, I don't know, reading a book. Make a commitment to yourself and tell yourself that you won't do any of these things unless you practice for at least, say, 30 minutes that day. I don't know, write it down on a piece of paper and sign underneath if you have to, but motivate yourself in some way to practice first and then go on to your entertainment.
Remember, meat first,
then soccer.
These steps have worked for me, and I'm sure they will work for you too if you actually do them. Let me know if you got any results by following these steps, and also share your thoughts what you think could help guitar procrastination that I didn't mention in this video. This is all that I have for you in this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, if you got any value out of it, please like, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with your friends. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.